If you haven't heard of Mavi, you need to check him out. He's a rapper from Charlotte, North Carolina, and he has a bunch of really amazing music, from 2 excellent studio albums, like The Sun Talk and Laughing So Hard It Hurts, to a really fascinating...
Hey. Okay, the difference between a nigga like me and 100 million is a couple. Yeah, my halo a little rusty, but I still got it. I'll pay when the bills coming, had to steal knowledge. My skin made out of heel cuts and blunt sealed down the middle.
He's got songs with artists like The Alchemist, Earl Sweatshirt, and many more, and he recently went on tour with Jack Harlow. His music ranges from dark, raw, rough, and moody to warm, jazzy, and smooth. And in my opinion, he's one of the best artists from the current abstract scene, with extremely soulful lyrics that present a wide range of perspectives and topics. If you like Boldy James, Wiki, Navy Blue, and Earl Sweatshirt, you'll really like Mavi too, even though he's a completely unique artist in his own way. I recently got the chance to sit down with him and have a really amazing, thoughtful two-way conversation. We talked not just about his music, but his past, his inspirations, his goals in life, and everything that makes him the artist he is. This isn't just an artist interview, it's so much more, and I'm very proud of how it turned out. And of course, feel free to subscribe and let me know who you think I should interview next. All right, so the first thing I wanted to say was I saw yesterday Pitchfork gave you 35th or 33rd best album of the year.
It was actually 34.
34, yeah. Okay. Yeah, so Pitchfork gave you 34th best album of the year. Do you feel something good about that, or do you not really care so much?
I feel good about it. I feel good about everything anybody has good to say about my album. It was hard for me to feel good about the album just because I made it about a lot of sad stuff. I had to make a lot of adjustments from a content level based on business decisions that made me feel unsure about the reception. It's just been so long, you know? And when the album released, right, everybody's like, oh my God, Mavi album out. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. Thank you, Mavi. This is so good. And I literally like kept refreshing, like, Mavi new album, Mavi new album. For like 14, 15, 16 hours, right? I seen someone say, and it was like 3 years ago, Omavi dropped his album, Let the Sun Talk. And then somebody quoted and said, yesterday, Mavi dropped a phenomenal piece of shit. Laughing So Hard It Hurts. And I was like, yes.
My next kind of question from there was going to be, if a lot of people hated it, would you still be proud of it?
Fuck yeah.
Okay.
Because I made this album, the things that I went through to make this album in terms of just grief amongst success, the kind of grief amongst success that makes your dreams feel frivolous and insignificant, and the loss just of a baby, reconceiving myself as a father, as a family member, and then having to revise that reconception of myself. These are all really private and ugly matters of self. And I went into the composition of this album with the expectation that it would mirror some of that ugliness, incompleteness, non-artness, you know?
Yeah.
So the anti-art kind of stance, even amongst the overwhelming like attention to beauty that I adopted through this album, I expected people to read that. I just wanted them to be able to understand why that was a matter of choice, not ability. And I think they got that.
Can you tell a story about where you're from, but not just about you? Like, where's your family from? What is your family story? And where does that start for you?
That's a good one.
Where do you start from other people, you know?
Yeah, that's a great question. Okay, so 2 sides of my family. Mama's side, my daddy's side. So I'm from the country. Towns on the opposite sides of this city in South Carolina called Columbia. It's kind of like a major city in South Carolina, sort of, if such a thing could exist. And so my daddy's side is from Hopkins, which is like West Columbia type of occasion. And my dad's from a military family. So my dad's side of my family, for our purposes, starts like with my dad's grandfather, my great grandfather. He is a Korea and Vietnam vet, right? At Vietnam, he got shot. He was like a combat vet.
Yeah.
So he got shot, and he's like laying in his blood or whatever. And he said a prayer to God. He said, God, if you let me live through this, I'm gonna come home to South Carolina, and I'm gonna have 10 kids. I'm never gonna miss a Sunday at church. With the power and strength of family and love, our family on my father's side is large and magnanimous and loving as the defining characteristics because of having so many aunties and uncles, having that tight-knittedness, and getting through a lot of like poverty and struggle together, and with nothing else but togetherness, you know, and wit. And in the same way that my great-grandfather wanted to put his kids forward a generation with his ability, my aunties and uncles put my dad's generation forward with their abilities and their priorities in education. And my daddy generation was able to put us forward with our priorities. So that's my daddy's side.
No, that's a great story. And owning land, man, owning land is one of the best things you can do for freedom and security and stability.
It's the best thing.
Yeah.
So my granddaddy's side, so my mama's side briefly. My mama's side, we're going to start from like my mama, daddy, and mama. My mama, daddy, and my mama, they both like didn't finish school. My grandmother on my mom's side went to like school to the 6th grade. Yeah. And she worked in a canning plant her whole life. And my grandfather on my mom's side, he bought like hella acres. Like my grandmother's has hella land, like you could see from there to there. Like you see the whole horizon. And my grandfather bought this from a drunk ass white man for $3,000 in the 70s. And it's literally our family centerpiece. And yeah, my grandmother and my grandfather on my mom's side are just, again, defined by their faith, their hard work, their wit, and their ability.
Yeah. Yeah, I just wanted to say, your parents must have had you really young. My dad was drafted to Vietnam.
Fuck.
Your great-grandfather went to Vietnam. My dad was drafted to Vietnam. My dad was born in 1947.
Wow.
So, yeah. I don't know why he didn't go, but...
it's good he didn't go.
I think he was anti-war. Like
nice. Nice.
He said he was like, didn't believe in it. So they were like, well, we can't send him because he's not going to fight if we send him. So they just didn't send him.
That's a good reason.
Can you say something about North Carolina? Like, what can you talk about the spirit of that place and what it's like there?
So I'm from Charlotte, though. That's important to distinguish, though.
Yeah.
Because Charlotte is the metropolis of North Carolina for intents and purposes. It's a migration city. So like a lot of those smaller South Carolina towns, a lot of people from Sumter and from Hopkins I've met in Charlotte just as my friends growing up. So it's an opportunity city. That's like the defining characteristic. A very accessible place to find affordable housing, quality affordable housing. And it was like the #1 city in America in terms of upward mobility for a long time.
I've heard this, and I've met some people who moved there because they wanted cheaper living and they wanted better jobs. And
you can find both of those things in abundance in Charlotte. And so that's what brought my parents there. Because of that, me as growing up into like a arts centric young lad, it is a little stiff.
Yeah.
It's a place that people move to with a tie and not necessarily a trumpet. It has an amazingly beautiful history in terms of the black communities, especially on the west side of Charlotte, ability to maintain its composure through multiple generations. Landmark areas on the historic West End like Beatty's Ford Road, stuff like this, and Nations Ford Road, even on Tryon, the major black communities and neighborhoods remained intact for a really long time. And it's also got an interesting history, contrasting that, about the displacement of those black neighborhoods. One interesting thing, we were just talking off camera about how clean downtown Charlotte is. So downtown Charlotte is like now almost entirely a commercial space with high rises sprinkled in. Bars, places where you going to work at the bank, and places to feed the people that work at the bank. That's it.
Yeah.
So, but before that, downtown Charlotte was the heart of the black community. Atlanta's interesting like this too. One story that you will find that is consistent amongst a lot of black cities in America is when they tear down their black housing developments and why. And so in Charlotte's case, it was about the development of the highway, tore down several black neighborhoods. Even to this day, the highways are an important divider of the white money south side from the northeast west sides.
Yeah, I became aware of this at a young age. My great-grandparents' house was torn down to build I-95.
Wow.
And then my other great-grandparents' house was torn down to build a highway in Long Island.
Wow.
So I learned as a teenager why we didn't have as much family and community as my parents did when they were younger. And it's because it was all
Their
gone.
neighborhood is gone.
Didn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
And so there are so many good books about that. And I think pretty much every American should know this.
Definitely.
Because we would live in a different world if that didn't happen. And I'll say
Absolutely.
So this is kind of like it's a little bit of a jump, but I wanted to ask, how did you get started with the style of music that you make? Like, where does the style come from? Would say fuzzy, warmer, more abstract.
So if I had to say 3 major influences, I would say when I was 13, going on 14, entering the 9th grade, I found 3 things that like changed stuff for me. It was this compilation tape of no-name songs that had like Cherry Pie Blues, Members Only, You and I, all of these like you say, fuzzy, warm, abstract. A lot of it had like knowledge production.
Yeah, he's
A lot of lo-fi type of shit before she moved into like this glittery, glowy, like synthy soundscape. That era of her, if you look that up on YouTube, I think it was like the No Name Gypsy era. You can still find that compilation today. So finding Doris by Earl Sweatshirt, my friend, and finding Operation Doomsday by MF Doom, and all of the meandering pathways that discovering that Chicago scene, discovering that abstract late 90s, 80s, early 2000s wave of Doom, and then the Earl, Vince, Dash, Wretch, Alchemist, Mac, Action, entire soundscape. Those things defined my taste as I was getting started. And I think I took a lot of influence from their backgrounds and stuff, like the prop stuff, like how stuff sound in the back. And so I think because of that, I was trying to do different shit than everybody from home from the beginning.
Yeah. It's have you listened to Knowledge's Meek Mill mixtapes?
Yeah, I love them.
I'm listening to them for the rest of my life, man. I
those
can't get
are
enough.
So fire.
All 6 of them.
They need to make a real album.
I mean, he had to take a lot of them down.
I'm sure.
Yeah, they're not up. They used to be all of them were on Spotify, but I think there's like 2 left or something.
Yeah.
Really
that's
good.
it. That's a crazy thing to try to clear one Knowledge record, like one Knowledge beat.
I was gonna say I was originally gonna say, "Let the Sun Talk" sounds a lot like Meek's freestyles.
I think like what I was trying to bring to the soundscape was energy, aggression, vitality.
Yeah.
To beats that might suggest a more laid back approach. In a sense, especially on a lot of beats that didn't have any drums, being the drum, like being the attacking and advancing energy on the track. So I could see that.
Yeah, it has that like the brush strokes are like rough.
Yeah,
it's like textured.
Definitely.
What is your approach to suffering in life? Because there is suffering in the music, but do you feel like it's something that strengthens you, or is it something that you have to like fight really hard?
I actually don't think suffering strengthens anybody. Muscles tear, and the healing of that tear makes stronger muscles. When your spirit tear, the healing of your spirit don't make your spirit less susceptible to another tear. Unlike a muscle, we could project that onto people who've suffered a lot because they adopt the callous, the hardness and stoicness over the surface of themselves. But I don't believe that's how it actually works. I think everybody everywhere of all time needs to rehabilitate from suffering. Our lack of acknowledgement of that fact is how we as a society can get to sleep at night. You know?
Yeah, it's not what I would say, but you're right. Like, I would say that when I suffer, I come out stronger, but I really just come out meaner. It's like,
yeah, and if you think about it, your conception of yourself as a stronger individual against, so you might be like, again, like a vaccine or like a little bit of poison. It might attenuate the effects of the acute cause of that unique suffering, but against suffering in itself, it's no vaccine. So yeah, all that to say, when we live in a society where like women, children, queer people, people of color have to absorb the brunt of the suffering in the society, the suggestion that that means something greater or better about self is what allow us to continue to sequester suffering into those consistent areas.
mm-hmm. Yeah, oh, that's true.
And so if we accept suffering as something at gross, not at net, to decrease, then we all do a little bit better.
Yeah.
But I do think, like, for me though, like, I do think like in certain ways I gotta get beat up or I had to get my ass kicked, shit like that. I can say that, but I wouldn't want to stretch that to like the nature of suffering, because that's kind of what we already do.
Yeah. No, that's much more holistic and wholesome than I would say, but it's also more true and accurate because I do a little coping when it comes to like thinking about this stuff.
Yeah, but that's fair. But you also got to remember, shit don't happen to you because you don't deserve to be a happy dumbass.
Yeah.
You do deserve that.
Yeah.
Somebody get to be it.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't.
Yep.
That hurts to acknowledge.
Yeah.
Still true though.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's suffering also can kind of, I think it does elevate to some degree, like not needless, but like sometimes you have to learn things the hard way.
Oh yeah.
Like, there's a lot of mistakes, like, you know, you got to make some mistakes.
And the positive side of suffering is that it increases your compassion.
Yeah.
It increases how accommodating you can be. It increases how easily you're able to relate to other people. Because, you know, you can tell when somebody has gone through some stuff with you.
Yeah.
Even if it was something you never seen, you know?
No, that's very true. You can, you meet people who haven't been through much and they're not easy to connect with. Mm-hmm. It's just not easy to, like, you can't get into who they are because who they are isn't really that related to how they present themselves. And they're just kind of like, they're just there, you know?
But we should all strive toward freedom. Even freedom from what we deem necessary evils. Who deem them necessary is consistent across like a sociological angle.
Do you think it would be, what's the ultimate freedom if you are someone who has no problems or someone who has every problem and doesn't care about them? Like, who's more free there?
As a Black person who family history is what it is, I come for people who had every problem and don't give a fuck. And I had demonstrably less problems. I would think I'm freer.
Yeah.
They would think I'm freer.
Yeah.
That's why they designed my life this way.
Yeah.
So that's why I say, like, the goal is ultimately less gross suffering. That's how if we can redefine the progress of humanity on that angle, and less like, let's all have the spirit of the people who had the problems of before. We get to thresh out some of the shit that was never necessary. There are some necessary human sufferings.
Yeah.
Grief and loss. Like, people will always die.
Yeah.
People will always leave. People will always do things that hurt other people from that perspective. But there are things that people do to other people that hurt. That should have never happened in the first place.
Yeah. So this kind of relates to like politics a little bit. Like we were talking earlier, about like the manosphere and like, the conservative resurgence.
Yeah.
How like all men, like there's men from every race right now who are like, fuck making a better world. I want my world to be better. I don't give a fuck what happens to other people. Every class, every race is experiencing this where people are just being bad.
Yeah.
And it's coming, like, I don't know, maybe this was a thing, but it seems like it's loud right now. So you feel like there is a better world.
Yeah. I think that shit is like the insecurities of men is becoming less and less a society as a whole's role, like as women and femmes and shit, like prioritize their own healing amongst themselves. It become less urgent to support like the dumbass insecurities of like every man in your life.
Yeah.
And I think men don't know what to do with that.
Yeah, it seems like these guys who just they don't care if the world gets better. They want to like dominate, control. They're not like no empathy, and it's getting loud. Like it's getting
I don't know. I think that's some evil shit for sure. Yeah. I'm a nice guy. I keep my pistol.
Yeah.
Domination won't be how I go.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, you want to be nice and strong, but these are like guys. They don't. Maybe domination's not the
no.
word.
Domination is the word.
Disrespect.
Domination is the word though,
Yeah.
because it's like against what I know are the protests of the forces of the world. I need my way.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Which is like unacceptable. Yeah. That's why I say again, I keep my pistol. Because protect. But because it is. We all floating on our backs because the ship done went down.
Yeah.
A nigga trying to climb on top of you and stand on your stomach.
Yeah.
I have to kill you or I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
I think niggas, men are unknowingly putting themselves against a real scary big wall.
Yeah.
Because
it's true.
They don't really have, like, the manosphere don't teach you how to climb that wall.
No.
It don't.
It doesn't. Because the manosphere isn't like, it's not the same thing as walking down the street in the middle of the night.
No.
It's not the same thing.
And they're scared.
Oh, yeah.
They're super scared.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's scarier than them though out here.
Yeah. No,
and people who not with that shit, it gets scarier than them out there.
I talk to people in my life about this a lot because some people don't know that if you accidentally get in a fight with someone, that could be the last thing you
could die.
It could be the last thing you ever do. So getting in a fight,
that's so dangerous.
Every single possible way, avoid getting in a fight. I would do anything not to fight a stranger.
That's the only way to win a fight. Don't fight.
Yeah.
For real. Like, for real, brother.
Yep.
Like, I know people who got paralyzed play fighting.
Yeah.
I ain't even trying to play with a nigga, bro. Yeah. Like, for real.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to do none of that with, like, so that's for that reason too. But also, I say this. The reason why I know they scared, only people who have no intimate relationship with violence, embrace it so casually as they do. Only people with no experience, haven't been dominated, haven't been made to feel small, embrace their capacity to make somebody feel small like they do. That's why it's dangerous. Because you don't even know what you're suggesting.
They don't know. And like they don't know when to stop.
It's okay. They gonna learn though.
No,
they keep on though. Like you know, like how my people used to say. My people used to say, "Keep on now." Keep on. You're gonna see.
I really feel like becoming an adult for me, a big part of it was teaching myself to have a fear of violence. Because like,
especially as a boy, violence, G.I. Joe, all this shit, wrestling, nigga, violence supposed to be cool.
That real,
No, violence is not cool, dude. Like violence is not cool, and your ass do not come back at the end of this shit. So, again, like, bro, niggas should be nice to girls, bro, especially because like a nigga might spank you if you don't, like for real. I might spank you if you don't, like, and you will not come back. For real.
No, it's,
like so it's like this shit is real serious out here. Like and like even if not, like she might spank you. Like you don't even know how deep this shit get, bro. And you don't even know how people is preparing themselves against your super loud, super obviously regressive social movement. You don't know what people is doing. You don't know.
When I first found out about Andrew Tate, I only saw a video of him saying that he used to be broke and he had to get money. I was like, oh, I have to do that too.
That's also part of the evil of it. Like niggas appealing to niggas like loving money. Which is dark. But the rap shit is like that too. The overwhelming majority of the rap shit, why certain forces like misogyny, homophobia, shit like this could be sequestered into this, is because like rap is not necessarily, like not necessary. It is one, but it's not necessarily a tool of social progress, especially with the amount of money that's tied into the industry now. Rap is defining the model modes of consumption for poor black boys and girls. What you should aspire to want to be able to buy, get, where you should want to be able to go, how you should want to be able to behave, more than it is about self-expression even, because the advertisement of certain kind of lifestyles is where money flows most abundantly. Like appealing to people's natural envy, watching other people ball out, that capitalism imbues into like everybody who's not born rich, is a really insidious but exceptionally effective form of advertisement.
No, it really is. And I mean, I feel it. Like you feel it. Like you listen to something enough times, it gets in your head and you just think, okay, this is normal. Like I should want all of these things and I should act this way.
Bro, humans learn by association. For example, are you too smart to get addicted to drugs?
No.
All right, so you're not too smart to be advertised to, period.
I think, I mean...
No, period.
Well, sort of, but nothing's ever advertised enough to me to buy a giant chain, right? Like, I'd never drop money on something stupid.
But then you got to also think, it's another level of the advertisement. Why is it... Why I say this for the black boys and girls, too, is because, bruh, if you are a black poor kid, and then you see this nigga who is obviously a black poor kid, but like his lips is ashy, but he got on this and this and this and this and this.
You're right.
It's like another level. So, and then that's why the manosphere is so effective too. Like you see this impotent, out of shape, obviously lame, like you, other white man who just through some magic has everything that you would ever desire.
Yeah, you know, you're right. No one's
it's an embodied advertisement. It's not cognitive.
No one's too smart to be advertised to. You're right. It is like there is a lot of people who are really smart and they get advertised to enough and then they just dedicate their intelligence to do some bad shit that they shouldn't do.
Yes.
And you see it a lot in like the New York drill.
It's like even think about it, like again with the addiction. Bro, if you smart as fuck. If you started smoking crack, you would be using all your smarts to get crack. You understand what I'm saying? You wouldn't be a dumbass. You just so, but briefly about the New York drill shit, because I was having a conversation with the homie. Briefly. So we were having a conversation about a rapper who like killed someone in self-defense and who was in public like doing a lot of like acts of violence that like this person I was having a conversation with seen as like cowardly kind of violence, a lot of jumping people, hitting people from behind, punk shit, right? Mm-hmm. And then by some act of God, their career started declining. So this person I was talking to was like, the reason career is on a decline is because people is not buying into all that fake tough shit no more. Now that it's people like X rapper who's a serial killer or Y rapper who's like a capital murderer, right?
Yeah.
So what that conversation showed me, and going back to everything that we were talking about before cameras, is that rap is a place that people should be able to come to improve their material conditions, regardless of how depraved or deprived those conditions are, period. Rap is also a place where many well-moneyed media outlets and private companies will exchange the legitimacy of your violent past for cultural resources. And as listeners, we need to make a critical discernment of whether we're paving a way out or justifying the continuation of Black Death. And I think that's something that's wholly missing from hip hop media today, especially in the era of, well, of course I asked him about his violence because he talks about it in all the music.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Nobody sits back and wonders, okay, I'm exchanging my platform, which means money at the end of the day. All the resources, all the accolades is attention industry. Attention means money. So if I'm exchanging attention for only legitimate, hyper legitimate even, autobiographical accounts of Black Death, and the more extreme the better, I'm exchanging legitimacy for Black Death. And not even to the people who have a story, but for the people who can collect the greatest amount of Black Death. They get the most legitimacy in this supposedly liberatory and progressive, potentially, cultural movement, which is crazy.
So how do you feel about, like, I mean, I'm sure it's not good, but how do you feel about the Reddits and the forums and like Trap Lore Ross, the YouTube channel?
It's sick.
Yeah.
It's sick because, bro, okay, briefly, it's a voyeurism. And we can't say it's not a voyeurism because everybody watches Ted Bundy or everybody watches X serial killer. Everybody watches what? No, it is the same, which is this. Ordinary Americans could not conceive of the behavior of a serial killer or a mass shooting or any of these hyper tragic fucking spectacle events or people or phenomena, right? So that's an endless wellspring of viewers and money as a result. Attention means money. So to direct that at a population that perpetuates unfathomable death and violence for social forces that you never experienced, not even never experienced as a white American. This is a white British nigga.
Yeah.
That you've never experienced though. I don't care who you know. I don't care what hood you went to in London. I don't care who you interviewed. Now, even if at the end of the video, after you say, even after the video, if you say, "Oh, he shot his ops and he's a real demon out here," if you have this really stoic speech at the end, and yes, our prayers go to all the affected by this callous war of these young men who give their life. Like, nigga, what's that really doing for niggas, bro?
Yeah, that's
like against, like, let's talk about, because one thing niggas, to a white supremacy is like ignoring resource gradients, which is this. Nigga, okay, so white supremacy say, if I extract all of these resources from the Black community, if I throw them a bone, a valuable bone, a diamond encrusted bone that didn't exist in their community, we straight. Nigga, the resource gradient of all of the negative attention and perpetuation of violence. And let's say, fuck, even if you perpetuate it, because niggas want to debate that, which is not really debatable. Let's just say, like, the trivialization, joking, etc. about like people real lived experience that you have no knowledge of beyond Google search, Instagram live. Literally.
Yeah.
That's literally it.
Yeah.
Giving your little speech about how you feel sad about it. Like, nigga, fuck you. You don't supposed to feel that sad about it if you're not like overwhelmingly sobbing about it. Cause the kind of sad niggas feel about that shit is not just, oh, that is so crazy and sad.
Yeah, it's PTSD for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Is what, yeah.
Screaming in the night.
Yeah.
And the craziest insult of intelligence is niggas think that because they know how to operate Reddit and YouTube and Instagram Live and Google, that they're somehow smart enough to give you the full story.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like everybody who lived it, they just not telling you the full story because they ain't smart enough to put it together in the damn YouTube video essay like you are, which is insane.
Yeah.
Or you smart enough to understand why this need to stop from knowing the name of 4 rappers who got killed.
Yep. Yeah, it's a very I always feel like everything I learn about like Chiracology is I learn against my will. Like I don't actually I don't seek this shit out, but then people start talking about it like it's a hobby or a sport or something to follow along with. I'm like, you guys are crazy. Like, this is weird.
Yeah,
it's
bro.
Weird. It's a bloodthirsty thing.
It's literally bloodthirst, which is like an American tenet of like media and culture.
Yeah.
And like, nigga, watch wrestling, bro. Like, play Call of Duty or something, bro.
Yeah.
Like, don't talk about them. And then my shit is too, what niggas don't understand about the whole gangster shit, period, which I understand. Nigga, you know how old the Crips was when they founded it?
No.
15 and 17.
Yeah.
So, in the black community, we know it's a crisis of young black man, like child, not young black manhood. It's a matter of children. That all of this violence and cycle of killing and shit spout from. And that it's like a gush that we can't put a big enough gauze over because of like resource gradient on our end.
I think
yeah.
If you don't mind, if the one thing I don't understand is the way that people talk about coming from a poor area or bad place. Like, people don't know what it's like to be 15 to 18 years old. You're learning what the world is and you're able to do things for yourself. And you realize that you come from a place where no one is happy. Your surroundings are miserable. The world is covered in this lack of opportunity. Like, you live in like a dark world. And like that feeling, people are like, oh, it was so hard. It's like, you know what it's really like to be from somewhere.
And niggas never been nowhere. Niggas who never been beat up ever don't understand what it is where niggas is gonna beat you up every day if you don't beat nobody up.
Yeah. When your actual world, when your actual surroundings, when you live in a place where if you walk around or you ride your bike around, you actually have to watch out for who's behind you or who's like to the side. Like, you don't feel comfortable and the whole world is just, there's nothing waiting for you. Like, it's a roll of the dice for a lot of people. Like, whether or not you have a good life, it's a roll of the dice. Because the world around you is just, it's nothing.
It's bleak as fuck. And niggas not going and reporting on fucking Hezbollah kids or ISIS kids and their ops.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nigga can learn everything. Nigga don't even know. I'm positive that nobody reporting on this hip hop shit. They have no media background, period, right?
Oh yeah.
And they can't even tell you who at war right now on Earth.
Oh yeah, no, it's
but they
always,
could tell you, but they could tell you 63rd and this and like they can go block by block.
Yeah. If you go on No Jumper and you go into their set, you say, guys, who's a senator right now? They don't know.
Dumb as fuck.
They don't know what they're like. Not everybody has to know.
No.
I think, but it's like.
But if you purporting some kind of expertise and authority, which we know comes with media, bro, we not gonna pretend like we not gonna play naive.
Yeah.
Like, have some, like, bro, have the decorum associated with journalism. Because journalism, journalism about these issues that are actually underreported. Mm-hmm. That's necessary.
Yeah.
But journalism is, what's the word? Sensationalism.
Yeah.
That create more rubble, more ashes, and just points at how small the minutia of the rubble is, rather than any vision toward rebuilding. And niggas actively thought it. That's what the whole speech at the end of the videos is about. Oh, I have no clue how this. I just pray this cycle of violence. Like, fuck your prayers, bro. Yeah. Throw some bread somewhere, vote somewhere, have a Trap Lord Ross no jumper foundation.
Yeah.
Where you might put a nigga through school. You might, cause the niggas who was actually from that, even the niggas who was on some gangster shit, they changed the nigga lives. Like, for real. Every rap nigga, every trap nigga, no matter how ignorant, they changing somebody's life who from there.
Yeah.
The niggas who get killed that you might make a video on, they change the nigga lives though.
Yeah.
If you want to be a part of this sequestering of black suffering into media dollars, the reason why that exists is for the improvement of black life. Mm-hmm. The reason why black people got into the business of selling their stories on this basis is to improve their life and the life of their family.
Yeah.
So get with that too, if you want to take the kind of same abandon that the rap niggas get to take about talking about it.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
That's so sharp, man. That's so sharp. Yeah. I've never heard that take before. It's intuitive though. It makes sense.
Yeah.
You just don't hear it from them though.
Yeah. They think niggas just like talking about it.
Yeah. And you get, like, I watch No Jumper clips now and then, but then, he just has his friends on. Like, they don't talk about real shit.
Nah, it's all. I mean, they a podcast. I just don't like when niggas like sensational a lot. Cause bro, the podcast sphere is already just. Yeah. I just don't like when it's like when we are trading legitimacy for accounts of trauma.
Yeah.
And the more accounts of trauma, the more we're gonna have you on, the more legitimacy. These people do deserve a way out, even through media, if they so choose, of that. But we have to be careful that we trade in legitimacy directly for trauma, and where everybody don't even get the legitimacy who trade their trauma, where the trauma come to the marketplace, not the legitimacy.
Where do you want your music career to go? I mean, you're pretty much up. You're definitely up.
No, the fuck,
you're definitely up. You're up.
You share. Nah.
No, Reddit likes you. I saw they when your album dropped, they gave you 1,000 upvotes. That's like a lot.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Thank you, Reddit.
Got like 100, 200 comments. They like you.
Go ahead, Reddit. But goddamn, I want my career to go to a happy place. I want to be able to do more stuff for my mama, my brothers, my cousins, auntie, grandma. I want to be able to do more stuff for the city. And more stuff like, for example, like I said before, my city is not a place that people move to with a musical instrument. I want to get to a point where I can matter amongst the suits and be seen as a contributor to the city amongst the suits. Where I don't have to be pigeonholed into rapper or some kind of manipulator of culture, where I can actually wrestle with the forces themselves in academia, in education, in the sharing and creation of resources. Yeah, just where I can be a full contributor as a person. And then you find out that I'm a rapper. Mm-hmm. That's where I wanted to go. But I'm definitely gonna rap forever. I don't ever want to quit. I used to want to quit. I don't ever want to quit. I'm gonna always rap. But I do want to be known as one of the greatest ever. I just want to keep pushing. Like, this next album is crazy. Like, it's all bars too. I definitely want to get everything to a point where on hold, it's like, he's one of the ones, I want to be a contributor to my people and a contributor to the history of my art form. That's all I want.
Yeah. Yeah, that's huge. That's huge. Do you want to do any other type of music? Any other type of art? Any other type of output?
Yeah, man. I want to get. One of the things that I'm just interested in, period, is like my brother does like photography and shit. Do like street photography.
Yeah.
I think that's really beautiful. I want to be able to direct photography and videography to where like organically beautiful ends. And I want to be able to take more measured control over the composition of my own music from an instrumental standpoint. And yeah, there's other shit I want to learn how to do too that's not so artsy fartsy. Like I want to learn how to lay wire and like do electrician work and plumbing work so I can work on my own home. And I want to know how to shoot guns really good. I want to know how to build things, sheds and garages and shit, and kitchen cabinets and shit.
Yeah.
I just want to be a full man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also wanted to ask you something that's like super related to this. What do you do like outside of music? What things do you do that contribute to music coming to you, I guess, if that makes sense?
Reading. That's the most important thing. Like if I could do anything to like rap history, I would make it. Niggas think you gotta do certain things to be a rapper good. You might gotta freestyle a lot. You might gotta go live it in real life a lot. That's true though. But what it is be weird to them because they think they gotta do like criminality or drug things. You gotta be somebody to rap. What kind of somebody also leans in a certain direction. But if I could add one dimension to that, it would be having all the young niggas up under me learn that you gotta read to write. In the same way you gotta listen to great boundary pushing music to make great boundary pushing music. You gotta read good words to have good words. You know what to do in them even.
Can you name 2 books people should read?
Shit, no.
1 book?
No. No, but let me see. Niggas should read. The last book I read was The Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison. It's a good book. Niggas should read all like very languid, especially time traveling authors. Who do the most long ass sentences. Yeah. Weird words.
In the 20th century, there were a lot of authors and a lot of black authors in this scene too that wrote hard to read prose.
Hell yeah.
And that 20th century was full of authors that did that. American authors, black American authors, some foreign authors, and it was just hard to read. Like I read Their Eyes Were Watching God.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
It's hard to read. It took a while.
Zora's Code though, but that's like rapping before rapping.
Yeah, I was gonna say reading that will make you a better speaker of English today.
You understand?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, because your brain will be elevated above what you need.
Right.
So you'll be able to make new things.
Niggas making sentences don't need a hammer to build a dwelling.
Yeah.
But if you can learn how to make the rocks that you're already using into a hammer, exponentially better at building a dwelling. Yeah. Same, words are rocks, but if you can fashion these rocks into a tool, they are much more in service to your given purpose. Yeah.
No, absolutely. Yeah. More people who want to write songs should be reading a lot, reading books. For sure.
Reading is the number one writer's block killer. Yeah. Sometimes I can't write a song and I'll read 10 pages or something and then write a song. Literally. And especially reading fiction. Fiction gets at the nooks and crannies of human emotion. that you might not even be able to see in your regular everyday life.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I've learned new life experiences and like things that I didn't really know that people felt from reading. Because you read a book about some like Mexican cowboy from 200 years ago. Well, I've never been a Mexican cowboy from 200 years ago. Or you read like a book from the perspective of a woman, or a book from the perspective of like a servant.
Mm-hmm.
Or like these things are like, I don't know these lives.
And then another thing though, the ordinary feelings. What's the most ordinary feeling? Boredom.
Yeah.
Boredom is like so beautiful.
Yeah.
If you know how to describe it. If you describe everything, boredness is like staidness, like steadiness, like, right?
Mm.
If you can describe the light conditions, the air conditions, the color of the room, how your shoes feel against the soles of your feet, all that compiling to you feeling bored. If you could describe the running ram of like your conscious thoughts, even as they just deviate from the norm this amount in a bored state, you done wrote a beautiful 15 pages.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I completely agree. And one of the tactics I use in life to bring new ideas or to get away from negative ideas is to stare at the wall.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just going to sit and do nothing. Because if I look at my phone, that's not going to help anything. Like nothing gets better if I'm on TikTok. Nothing gets better. Like I just got to look at the wall and like really feel what's going on. And I think everyone should do that every day.
Yeah, the phone sucks.
Yeah.
For art too. If you want to rap good, get off your phone too sometimes. A lot of times. Nothing. I don't never write no raps off of no shit I seen on my phone for real.
Oh yeah. Like you could watch shit on Instagram or whatever for hours and you don't remember what you just watched.
Yeah.
So what are you really doing?
Yeah. We wasting cognitive resources at a level unseen.
Yeah.
Scary.
Yeah. It's gotten weird. Like in the last 2 years, I got a little bit stupider. My IQ definitely went down last 2 years.
Oh yeah, we're all gonna be way dumber, kids and all. Think about it, bro. You my age.
Yeah.
Reading got less cool when the internet got super cool.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Imagine being born when the internet's super cool.
Yeah.
When does reading get cool?
It will though. I think it has to.
I pray so.
Well,
for the sake of humanity.
I think we're in like this weird time when the age of social media is going to be over soon. People are not going to stomach this anymore.
It's getting wicked, especially if the companies themselves continue to be mishandled.
The companies are getting like it's
if they
wild
implode
inside there.
Yeah. It's getting wicked though.
I think we're going to get into a time when the most radical thing you can do is just act like your grandparents.
Oh yeah.
Huh?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like literally, that's what niggas like about me.
Yeah.
How I'm like my grandparents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna be the most radical thing you could do is not be stupid. Just not do certain shit. Just be like, I'm just gonna live a life that's simple. I'm not gonna buy into all this. I'm just gonna live my normal life, and that's gonna be crazy. And it kind of already is. Yeah,
we sacrifice social media make people sacrifice so much to wanting to be that nigga, like the cool guy or gal that you see on social media who have these. That's why I say it's to advertise a lifestyle, make you a model consumer. Because with the energy that we put toward trying to be something or somebody else, we waste so many of our own resources. And when you go back to your family history, when people never did that, they probably had more shit for themselves. I'm Mavi. I'm from Charlotte. I'm here with my friend Philip from fucking Connecticut. From Connecticut. And man, we're having / had a great conversation.
You said what I could not say because it is hard for me to think of like opening and closing and everything. All right, yeah, Mavi, I really appreciate you coming and sitting down and talking. This is a great conversation. We got a lot of stuff. You're a pretty wise guy.
You're a wise guy.
Thank you.
You're a wise ass.
I think I was about to say I think you're wise because you agree with me on a lot of things.
Yeah, very Libra of you. Of us.
True. Oh yeah.
Libra gang.
Spanish. I ain't fist, I'm a real manic, still well managed. Rocking ships, setting low standards, and the thrones are vanishing. My fears with your ideal life feel like abandoned. It was near to your chest plate. I got rest ringing in my ears on my best day. I got stress anchoring the kids, stress anchoring. Hey, anchoring the kid on the chest.